I'm sitting here with Miss Berg. She is a teacher here at Bandon High School, and she is evaluating my lesson plan and sitting down here with me to reflect on it today.
Based on your analysis of student learning evidence, establish what has been learned and by whom, and what has not been learned and by whom, and who needs additional support to meet the standard. What have you learned about our students' learning characteristics that you did not realize previously?
So, based on my analysis after looking through my video and reflecting on everything and collecting all of the paperworks, I saw that most students all had a full understanding of what exactly metaphors and similes are within figurative language. I also saw that they were even able to identify them within like sentence structures and everything. When I gave my example of what I did over the weekend, they were all able to kind of pinpoint what similes and metaphors were within that text. I also saw that they were able to create their own, so which is great because you can kind of get creative with it and relate it into your own life. I saw that Gabrielle and Pedro were probably the most knowledgeable on the subject within the class. They're super involved in wanting to raise their hands and participate and share what they had learned or, what they came up with, which was awesome because they were in different groups. And then I saw that Lily and Billy both needed a little extra support, both socially probably and with academically. So I think that in the future I'd need to definitely focus on that for those two to help them build their academia.
Was there anything that you learned about the students in this particular case that you had not known previously?
Yeah, so I didn't know that Lily was having social issues kind of or not able to work with groups that well. So I think that it was kind of shocking for me, I guess, when I came up with a lesson plan that did have that as a big part, and she wasn't really participating and not working with her partner. So it not only struggled for Cadence, who sat with her, but it also affected her. So I don't know if maybe next time in the future I would pair either her and Billy up and me sit down with those two while the others work together, or sit them down with like Billy with Pedro and then Lily with Gabrielle, who are both like social and wanting to learn more and knowledgeable about the subject, so that could be helpful.
Yeah, it's nice that you realize that about her. That's great. Formulate how effective your instructional design was based on your planning and teaching as evidenced by data collected on student process and products of learning.
So I thought that it was pretty effective in general. After collecting their work and everything, I saw that it was most of them took away what was supposed to be. I found that the design worked well because I did kind of know some information on them, but I think it could have been a little more effective if I had more time with the students prior to. But I mean, I guess I understand it, especially being so early on in the year. But I knew that most of them were what grade they were in. I knew that there were no IEPs in the class and only a couple ELLs in the class. So I was able to kind of make it work for all of them and give different models for them and means of representation for all of them to have that opportunity to take away information from the lesson plan. So I thought it worked good.
Well said. Moving forward, how will you plan differently based on your knowledge of student learning characteristics, both previously known and newly discovered? And which additional differentiation strategies and multi-tiered levels of support will you consider?
So I think moving forward, I would definitely reconsider then partner work or who's partnered with who. I kind of let them just partner up with who was sitting next to them, and since it is so early in the year, I didn't really have them sit in a specific seat.
Yeah.
And I think that would definitely change. Also just knowing who is more active, who's struggling. So I think Lily, like I said, would definitely need to be with somebody either who's more outgoing so that they can help her develop her social skills also.
Yes, and I watched the video and you could see Pedro and Gabrielle, their hands were shooting up every single time.
Yeah, so I think that they would probably help the other students who were struggling.
I agree.
So I I think that would definitely help later. I think also that I would try to support them more by just me also being over there by them. It was a little more difficult because it's a new subject, but I think that maybe that could help a little more, so.
Okay, great. So how will you modify, extend, or incorporate new levels of presentation, expression, and engagement for each learner's group as it relates to their processes and products of learning?
Okay, so,
Sorry.
it's okay.
My bad.
So I think that I would probably continue to do the notes through the presentation. I thought that was super beneficial for them. I actually saw one of my colleagues do it in their class, and the students not only were able to take notes and listen to me speak and see the visual aid up front, but they were able to not have to write so much that they were just filling in the blanks. So it's like, yeah, they had to write simile, but then they were able to look up and listen to me talk. So I think that it didn't take away from them actually learning. I think that I would reconsider maybe like the group work, or reconsider it in a different way. Like I said, maybe different partners. I think that that could be a little more effective. But I also think that maybe in a different way of engaging students. I think that they're at that age now where they're getting a little bored with like just sitting there. So I think maybe like a video or like a fun way to get to know them to incorporate that.
Yeah, I think it was great that you had your example up on the board for them to see before they wrote their own. But what would even be great is a colleague of mine did it last year. Is she had them bring in their favorite song lyrics, school appropriate, of course, and when they brought them in, once they learned what the figurative language entails, they were able to highlight and share what language was presented in their favorite songs. You said video, and that's great. I think maybe starting with a video, maybe ending with one. So you start with the video. They're sort of like, hey, what does this have to do with anything, right?
Yeah.
They'll be excited about that, and then if you end with the same music video or the videos with the lyrics on them, I think that might be a nice way to show them, like, now that you've learned all this, it is in your everyday life.
Yeah.
It's here, and so it'd be a nice way to engage them. I think that's a nice way to do that.
That's a great idea. I think that would be interesting for all of them, especially because I know all of them listen to music, so it'd probably catch their interest. And that's where I think that, like, having them write about themselves was good, but then once, like, Pedro was like, can I create my own thing? I was like, that's awesome. Then you can kind of just express yourself in a different way, so maybe allowing students
invite them to do that, to be a little bit more creative. And if they don't want to be, then they don't have to be, but
at least it's the option there. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then one other thing is I noticed a few of the students, too, in part particular, they got the information pretty quickly. Should your other students get to that point as well, I think it'd be great. That's an easy intro to the other avenues of figurative language, so personification, oxymorons, just anything that can extend it and give them a little bit more insight, maybe at the tail end of it, just to give them a little bit more information if they
grasp it.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking, because some of them were ready to move on, and I probably could have given them worksheets that day, and they probably would have been able to, but then others I needed to slow down and make sure that they had the same opportunity to gain knowledge and take away the same amount of information as the others. So I thought it was a pretty good amount. So, was there any other advice you have for me?
No, I think that was it. I think I went over everything that I noted from your video. I think you did a really nice job.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Of course, thank you.